Hello nerds. So this video is all the books I plan on reading this year.
Mahalia, in this world, you must know who you are.
So I am going to try and read a few series, also arcs that have been given to me this year under certain stipulations. So for the physical copy of the books I have had on my TBR, they had to have been there longer than a year. And so I'm going to break this up into two parts because I have some physical copies and I also have some Kindle books that I want to be done with. These are arcs as well as Kindle books that I have bought but I haven't read or completed the series. So I want these series done and over with and reviewed. So I am actually going to get started. The first category, because these are kind of in categories, and you'll get what I'm saying. So the first type of books is Alice in Wonderland influenced or retelling or esque style books. These books they vary in age range and they vary in genre. So the first book I want to be done with the Alice in Wonderland title, I'm gonna have the title up there, is Cameron Jace's Insanity series. So I read books 1 and 2. However, he is now on book 7, and I want to get through it so bad. So it is about Alice Wonder, who we are introduced to in an insane asylum, and she has no memory of what happened. She has no idea what's going on, but she is in a penitentiary, and she doesn't like mirrors. She has a tiger lily as a best friend, and it goes through her emotional and mental struggle. However, at this time, there is the Cheshire Cat who is murdering people. Now, another resident of the insane asylum is called the Pillar, Dr. Pillar. So all these characters kind of have similarities to, the iconic Alice in Wonderland creatures. However, these are Alice in Wonderland, Lewis Carroll monsters. So there's a lot of referencing to Lewis Carroll. There's a lot of historical backstory on all the monsters and what they're doing in our world and how Alice Wonder is the only one that can save us. It's a roller coaster ride because you're also learning about her and what did she do. So within the first few chapters, Alice is like, I shouldn't be a superhero, I murdered a bunch of people, and you're hooked from there. Mad in Wonderland is the bind up of book 1, 2, and 3. I will have them separated though in this video. Book 4 is called Hookah. Book 5 is Wonder. Book 1 is called Insanity. Book 2 is called Figment. Book 3 is Circus. Book 4 is Hookah. Book 5 is Wonder. Book 5 is Wonder. Book 6 is Checkmate. Book 7 is Family. Book 8 is Mushrooms. So it's so exciting. A lot of people, this is a hit or miss because it's kind of a dark retelling, but it's really good if you like mystery thriller and some supernatural-esque to your Alice in Wonderland. And so that's our first, I'm gonna try and have them moved over here. That is our first group of Alice in Wonderland books that I plan on finishing. The next book is Alice, I really, really love Alice in Wonderland, if you didn't know. Alice Takes Back Wonderland by David D. Hemmings. And this one I got from my secondhand bookstore, which as soon as I saw the cover, I was like, ooh, I don't even care. I want that book. After 10 years of being told she can't tell the difference between real life and a fairy tale, Alice finally stops believing in Wonderland. And then the white rabbit comes to her door. So, this is my next book that I want to have read, reviewed, out into the masses. The next set of books is a trilogy, and it is, I think, considered middle grade, and it is called, The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Bedore. So book 1 is The Looking Glass Wars. Book 2 is Arch Enemy. Book 3 is Seeing Red. And it made me so happy, but I haven't read them yet. You would think, So the myth is, backstory, Alice Little, not Wonder, was an ordinary girl who stepped through the looking glass and entered a fairy tale world invented by Lewis Carroll in his famous storybook, The Truth. Wonderland is real. Alice's heart is the heir to the throne until her murderous Aunt Red steals the crown and kills, I think it's Alyssa, I don't think it's Alice, parents. To escape Red, Alyssa and her bodyguard, Hatter Madigan, must flee to our world through the Pool of Tears, but in the pool, Alyssa and Hatter are separated. Lost and alone in Victorian London, Alyssa is befriended by an inspiring author to whom she tells the violent, heartbreaking story of her young life, Lewis Carroll. Yet, he gets the story all wrong. Hatter Madigan knows the truth only too well, and he is searching every corner of our world to find the lost princess and return her to Wonderland so she may battle Red for her rightful place as the Queen of Hearts. So there's that. So, yeah, I've had this for a long time. And I just been holding it off. And I'm like, I'm going to binge read all my Alice in Wonderland books in 1 month. That has yet to happen. The next series, this has been on BookTube. Let's try and get it out the sun. For a while. I've heard really great things about it. Saga Tarthi. But from what I know, it is, our main characters are POCs, and one is a slave, one is a soldier, and neither are free. Laia and Alice. Laia is a slave, Alice is a soldier, and under the martial empire, Defiance is met with death. Laia and her family do not challenge the emperor. They've seen what happens to those who do, but when Laia's brother is arrested for treason, she is forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother, she risks her life to spy for them from within the empire's greatest military academy. It was pretty exciting. So yeah, I have this is book 2. This is book 1. I don't have book 3, but I plan on getting it. Probably while I'm reading this, just to make sure I get closer to the end of it. And the last series of physical books. You know, because Alice in Wonderland is over. Just in case you didn't know, my whole Alice in Wonderland section is over. Yeah, so that's over. My next series, if you have been here on my channel since the beginning, you know my favorite manga anime series, other than One Piece, is the Saga of Tanya the Evil. So, I am missing book 5, which sucks, but I have books 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Crazy. And if you are not familiar with me just posting and having Tanya in like every one of my like favorite reading challenges and stuff like that, then I will enlighten you. This is Saga of Tanya the Evil. She is a young officer within the Empire, which is an alternate world where it is like World War One or Two. Well, she is a civilian in Germany who is trying to take over the world, which is the Empire. And so I'm gonna read you the back just because I've been doing that this whole time. High above the blood and mud soaked trenches, a young girl pits herself against an army of mages in high stakes aerial duels with bullets, spells, and bayonets. Her name is Tanya de Gorchov, and she is the devil of the Rhine, one of the greatest soldiers the empires have ever seen. But inside her mind lives a ruthless, calculating ex-salaryman who enjoyed a peaceful life in Japan until he woke up in a war-torn world. Reborn as a destitute, orphaned girl with nothing to her name but memories of her previous life, Tanya will do whatever it takes to survive, even if she can find it only behind the barrel of a gun. So, we are introduced to the ex-salaryman in Tanya's head, who is a HR personnel who fires an employee and the employee kills him, like pushes him in front of the train. And before he like dies, God comes down and tells him, because the man is an atheist as well, tells him, if you believed in me, I would save you. And the man is like, all my accomplishments have been on my own and you haven't done anything, this, that, and the other. And so God tells him like, well, I'm going to take you to another world and you must survive or you will not be reincarnated. You will not be given a second chance of life. And so the guy is like, bring it. Like, I got this, bring it. Like, I won't believe in you. I won't pray to you. I won't do anything that is in your name. And so he is thrown into this war-torn world where all the countries are battling the Empire, which is where Tanya de Gorchov is born. And so in the light novels kind of give different perspectives of the same scene, rather than the manga just shows first person. So we are seeing everything through Tanya's eyes and her experiences and her flashbacks to our world and all the wars and mechanics from our wars and who won and, you know, the strategies taken. And she uses that for this world to become a higher ranking officer to be able to live a peaceful life in retirement before she's 14. And I think she joins at like 7 or 6 or something like that. It's crazy. There's also an anime. I'm hoping to link it in the cards above. So I will have a anime reviewer called Arata. Glass Reflection is his channel. So I will have his link in the cards above or in the description below. He does a phenomenal job doing first reactions on anime, and it kind of forces you to want to at least watch the first episode. There is a movie out, which is epic. It's really good. And through the whole time, you're hoping Tanya catches a break, which is really crazy because she's ruthless. And you love her sidekick characters and everything like that. So my goal is to finish all of these books. Yeah, all these physical books. Have I had these longer than a year? I've had book 2 and 3 longer than a year, and so I felt like that justified me just binging the entire series. Next set of books I have are the arcs I will read and review by the end of the year, and I'm just so happy to have been given the opportunity to receive them and be able to review them, because I was like, yes. So I have the picture on one of these sides. Seeker by Kim Chance. I have been following Kim Chance since she was writing her first draft. Like, she is a phenomenal, inspiring author who is also a YouTuber, and she is just precious. Like, she is just, it's just so hard not to love her. Like, you can love her. Okay, so Seeker is the sequel to Keeper somehow, the book right here. So I'm going to read Keeper and then read Seeker by Kim Chance by the end of this year. That's the goal. So, okay, so Seeker is the sequel, and it, in the description, it says, Lainey's normal bookworm life no longer exists. With her family murdered by the master, she joins forces with a group of supernatural rebels. But as she struggles to cope with her new role as Keeper, because we gotta read the first one, and the uncontrollable power it gives her, overpowered characters, let's go, Lainey realizes that magic doesn't indeed leave a mark, but it's not always physical. I'm so excited. I love stuff like that. Like, love it. Okay. The next book, next arc, Ivory Apples. Ivory Apples is a contemporary fantasy that is wholly original. I would hope so. So, this book, I asked over and over again, because my mama's name is Ivy, and so is my sister's name. So I have like a little soft spot for people who are named Ivy. I just love them so much. So, Ivy and her sisters have a secret. Their reclusive great aunt is actually Adela Martin, inspired author of the fantasy classics Ivory Apples. Generations of obsessive fans have searched for Adela, poring over her letters, share their theories online, and gathering at book conventions. It is just a matter of time before one fan gets too close. I feel it. Yay. I'm gonna have the books like up here. Plan on reading that before the end of the year. Next. Oh, I'm so excited to get this. Like, I was following it on Twitter and I was like, yes! The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. Ooh, so excited. I'm excited to read all these, honestly. For generations, the 100 Isles have built their ships from the bones of ancient dragons to fight an endless war. The dragons disappeared, but the battle of supremacy persisted. Now the first dragon in centuries has been spotted in the far-off waters, and both sides see a chance to shift the balance of power in their favor, because whoever catches it will win not only glory, but the war. That sucks for the dragon, but, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Next. Oh, this is also, okay, so this part would be for dragons. Like, the one previous to this one. Upon the Flight of the Queen by Howard Andrew Jones, which is a sequel to For the Killing of Kings, which I will have a picture up here. So I'm gonna have to like knock both these books out, which I'm so excited for. So while the savage Nora clans prepare to march on the heart of the Allied realms, Ryland infiltrates the highest of the enemy's ranks. All these infiltrations I'm just loving, or these like military-esque fantasy books. Love it. It's just like a nice place in my heart. Just infiltrate the enemy, corrupt them, destroy them from the inside out. The Ninja Daughter. I felt like this when I saw it. I was like, oh, Naruto. Like, I was like, oh. This is by Tori Eldridge. And I'm going to read this. The Ninja Daughter is an action-packed thriller about Chinese-Norwegian modern-day ninja with the Joy Luck Club family issues who fights the Los Angeles Ukrainian mob, sex traffickers, and her own family to save two desperate women and an innocent child after her sister is raped, trigger warning, and murdered. Lily Wong, funny. Lily Wong dedicates her life and ninja skills to the protection of women. But her mission is complicated. Not only does she live above the Chinese restaurant owned by her Norwegian father and inspired by the recipes of her Chinese mother, but she has to hide her true self from the Hong Kong tiger mom, who is already disappointed in her daughter's less than feminine ways, and who would be more horrified to know what she has become. But when a woman and her son she escorted safely to an abused woman's shelter, return home with dangerous consequences, Lily is forced to not only confront her family and her past, but to team up with a mysterious and very lethal stranger to rescue them. So there's going to be quite a few triggers in this for abuse, probably mental, emotional, and physical abuse, child endangerment, and so I'm going to cut this off here because that's already quite a few books that I plan to read, and I don't want to overwhelm myself with reading them. However, I'm kind of excited. Like, you know, when you pump yourself up, you're like, oh, I can read this, I can do this, I can do this. But I have to be realistic because I am still in school and my courses are getting harder and harder. And I got to do my best because I got to write my thesis too, which has been going rather well. So that is all for me on my books I want to read by the end of the year. Goals. I won't say goals because I don't want to pressure myself into forcing myself to read this because then I might not enjoy it. And so if you have read any of these books, if you're interested in any of these books, or you want to recommend me books similar, please put that in the comments down below. Like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. I'm just going to do this. The bell for notifications because I am trying to figure out a schedule that does not hurt my heart, mind, and soul. So, this is me. Bye.